In this video, I'm going to present to you how to lose weight, get lean and stay lean with evidence and experience-based recommendations, and also give you a realistic idea of how both your training and diet should be to accomplish your goals. We're also going to talk about some extremely common mistakes that you need to avoid and explain why most of the diets fail. By the end of the video, you'll be able to start seeing results from the first week, no matter your starting point, and significantly increase your chances of being one of those few people that not only lose weight but also maintain it. What is important to know to succeed in this is that simply following a diet doesn't really work the way you want to. According to National Eating Disorders Association, 95% of people who lose weight end up regaining the weight lost or more within a few years. And this doesn't even factor in all the people who are not able to lose weight in the first place. But not all is lost. I promise you that these statistics came only because a specific approach is missing. Today I'm going to share with you that approach in two different phases. Phase 1, losing weight, and phase 2, maintaining it. But in order to do that, you first need to do a simple change of mindset. If you want to be successful on this, your goal should be shifted from the day you reach the targeted weight or body fat percentage to the day that you'll have successfully maintained these results for at least a year. Trust me, this single change of mindset will take you a long way. And this is clearly supported by the literature, where you find in many studies that weight loss interventions should include long-term, comprehensive weight loss maintenance programs that continue for at least a year. So let's start with phase 1, which is how to lose weight in the first place. Many different diets and training models are initially effective, however, not long-term effective. In contrast, there is an effective approach to lose weight and also maintain it. That's because in order to maintain the weight lost, you need to have built some specific characteristics during the period of weight loss. So phase 1 highly affects phase 2. These characteristics are low fat percentage, adequate muscle mass, high metabolism, and a strong body that can do intense activity. These three of course kind of go together and will increase your energy expenditure to a level that will let you be a lot more flexible in both your diet and training during phase 2. Believe me, most ways to lose weight will not lead you to this. For example, losing weight only with a diet will lead you to a low fat percentage, which will feel like a win in the beginning, but also low muscle mass and low metabolism, which makes your failure in phase 2 almost certain. On the other hand, a combination of diet with cardio would probably be even worse, and I'll explain in a couple of minutes why. So let's see about the diet and training recommendations that will successfully lead you to both weight loss and weight maintenance, starting with the diet. There are 5 main things to consider in your diet, with the 5th being the most important. The first one is quite simple and you probably already know it. To lose weight, you need to be in a caloric deficit, meaning that you should consume less than you need to maintain weight. And to be in a caloric deficit, you will of course need to develop the habit of tracking what you eat, which is the second thing that you need to pay attention to. You can do that with pretty much any macro tracking app. Tracking what you eat is not only necessary to lose weight, but also an essential habit that you need to develop in order to be in control of your diet. And that's also because frequent self-monitoring of food intake has been shown in the literature to be one of the basic characteristics of people that lose weight and maintain it. So think of it as a skill that you need to develop. It's a pain in the beginning, but effortless after a while. But how much of a deficit you need to see results? That's the third thing you need to pay attention to. Your caloric deficit should be of a size that will cause a loss of 0.5 to 1.5% of body weight each week. The higher end is for more overweight people, and as you get leaner, you want to be closer to that lower end. With that in mind, you simply adjust the deficit according to your progress. If you don't lose much weight, you increase the deficit, or if you're losing too fast, you decrease it. It doesn't get more simple than that. And the fourth thing you need to pay attention to is the type of food that these calories should be, aka your macros. To get yourself to the position of having an adequate amount of muscle mass after phase 1 and a good physique, you'll need to have a high protein intake. A 2014 review of 6 studies on the topic showed that athletes who lost the least amount of muscle mass while cutting calories consumed the most protein. A good range of protein intake to preserve and increase muscle mass is around 1.4 to 2 grams per kilogram of body weight. The rest of your macros can be a reasonable balance between fats and carbs on the condition that you stay under the caloric limit you've set. However, these are all changes that you need to make in your everyday life. This brings us to the fifth and most important tip that I can give you on dieting. People can't just install things to their lives like computers. The way you're going to introduce these changes to your life will determine if you're going to stick with them or not. The typical mistake goes like this. People start with high motivation and bring a ton of changes in their everyday routine that need a ton of effort to keep up with. This is okay in the beginning. However, as the weeks go by and the motivation fades away, this becomes unbearable. Every single thing in your life is a piece of your habit and you want to slowly hack them if you want to create lasting results. For this reason, I propose starting with small changes that don't rely on motivation and giving the time to evaluate and adjust the variables according to your needs. For example, start with tracking what you eat. The next week, diet with a small caloric deficit and an effort to calculate how much protein you eat. Then monitor your progress and add something more. It might take you weeks to apply all the tips I presented, but you'll increase by 1000% your chances of success. And I have to tell you that I've never seen anyone going all in for the first week and succeeding in both losing weight and maintaining it. To wrap it up, your goal should be to gradually create a diet with the characteristics I presented and not force yourself to an extreme makeover from the first days. Moving on to training, I'm gonna first start with what you shouldn't do to lose weight because it's an extremely common mistake. And this is to rely on cardio to burn more calories. Although endurance training is essential for health and should not be neglected, using it as a way to increase the calories you burn per day will not help, mainly because of what I like to call the vicious circle of cardio. Let me explain this. A normal amount of calories burned by an 80-kilo male on a 30-minute moderate pace run are around 350 calories. These are very few calories to begin with, and to give you a perspective, a glazed donut has around 270 calories and a 100-gram milk chocolate has 550. So you could easily eat those calories in seconds. If you run 3 times per week, those 1050 calories in total create a 150 calories deficit for every day of the week. This amount is really low to create results and equals to almost 1 apple per day. If you just remove a small amount of food like this from your diet, you'd have the same effect on your weight loss like running 3 times per week. However, the actual problem is not the low amount of calories burned, because I know that most of you already think, what about running more days or more time? The real problem is this. You see, our body adapts to running fast by creating what is known in exercise physiology as running economy. What this means is that over time, your body adapts to the stimulus of running and burns fewer and fewer calories at the same distance and speed. And this is the basic reason why you get better at running over time. For example, if you burn 350 calories on your first 30-minute run, you'll gradually burn less at the following training sessions on the same intensity. To compensate for this, you'll need to run more and more to burn the same amount of calories. However, your body never stops adapting to the new stimulus, and eventually you'll always reach a point where you adapt and again burn fewer calories through improved running economy and efficiency. But the vicious circle has just started. The increase in volume of cardio leads to also muscle loss, especially when this training process is not combined with a well-rounded resistance training program. And of course, muscle loss leads to lower metabolism, which means less calories burned per day. So as you run more to burn the same amount of calories, your body drops in muscle mass, therefore lowering metabolism and creating more calories that you need to burn by running even more. And by increasing your running sessions per week, these effects will eventually happen to a greater degree. The same thing to a similar degree happens with most cardio activities, and this is why we don't use them as tools to burn more calories, but as tools to increase health and quality of life. Of course, many people use running as their predominant tool to lose weight through phase 1, and they do lose weight. However, the characteristics of their body by the end of it are low fat, which is good, but also low muscle mass and low metabolism, which lowers the calories they need for maintenance. Naturally, they then strive to sustain this with endless cardio workouts that become more and more inefficient in burning calories, and very restricted diets that are impossible to keep up with. So let me show you how to not be in this position. The main idea is to focus on strength. Instead of the vicious circle of cardio, we have the accumulated benefits of strength training. Strength training increases muscle mass, which besides the obvious effect of creating good-looking physique, it also increases your metabolism, meaning your maintenance calories level increases. In addition, by stimulating the muscles to stay and grow, you make sure that the weight that you lose is mostly fat. Even more, this increased muscle mass needs more energy to get activated than less muscle mass during a similar intensity workout. Thus, you burn more calories on each training session. But of course, a stronger body with more muscle mass is able to execute more challenging workouts that lead to even greater results in muscle mass and strength, which in turn increases all the aforementioned gains again and again. So the main purpose of your training when trying to lose weight should be to assist the weight loss process later down the road by slowly increasing muscle mass, which over time increases metabolism and creates an active, strong body capable of doing intense workouts. This gives you incredible flexibility with your diet, especially in phase 2. Of course, for a well-rounded training program, a form of cardio is essential for the benefits of cardiovascular endurance and health. However, as I previously mentioned, cardio can interfere with muscle growth and maintenance, and for this reason, this 2017 review and meta-analysis on the topic suggested to separate endurance and strength training programs for at least 24 hours. So to get only the benefit from your cardio during that phase, I recommend including up to 2 short running sessions during the days that you don't do strength training. So my practical recommendations on the training part is to prioritize strength training. Train 2 to 4 times per week and make sure to hit every muscle group at least 2 times per week. If you have the time, add 1 or 2 short running sessions for the health benefits only and not with the mindset of burning more calories. Also, as I proposed with diet earlier, make sure to introduce these changes to your life gradually. Going all out from the first days in the gym will not give you long-term change in your body or lifestyle. Start small and progress steadily. Combining these tips on diet and training, you'll be able to get lean and finish phase 1 with low fat percentage, high muscle mass, high metabolism, and a strong body. If you've built those characteristics, the rest of the process in phase 2 will be a lot easier. The basic things to consider on that phase are to maintain low fat levels and high muscle mass, and also keep close touch with the habits that made those changes possible. To do that, you need to set your caloric intake around maintenance levels with a high protein intake. This would be a lot easier with the tailored diet you'd have slowly developed in phase 1. Then, staying active and keep training will preserve your muscle mass and keep your weekly energy expenditure high. As was shown by Grotstein and colleagues in a study that measured the results 3 years post-weight loss, the frequency of exercise after the diet program was the strongest predictor of weight loss maintenance. This was found also in a 2005 study by Wang and Phelan. In addition, continue to monitoring your diet and weight has been shown by the literature to be a major component in preserving your results. And this is one of the reasons that it is essential to track what you eat from day 1 and develop this habit. Many more things can make sense for each one individually. However, I advise you to base your efforts on these 3 basic components that focus on maintaining low fat percentage and high muscle mass, and also keep touch with healthy habits. This will have a huge impact on your phase 2 journey. So that was the video. I know that this is an area that a lot of people struggle in and feel overwhelmed, so my purpose wasn't only to present the basic rules of this process, but also to give you an idea of the mindset you need to have on this and the most common mistakes that I see people do. I really hope that you found the video helpful, and if you do, make sure to like the video and subscribe to my channel because I will be making more science explained videos in various fitness topics. Thanks for watching, and I'll see you all next time.